We've got a big one. If there's only going to be one game, who needs a lead-up? Start with the main event, end with the main event. Kawhi has been balling north of 35, the average the last 5 games, and certainly looking like the load managing has helped, and he's managed without Paul George. Will miss another game. That'll make 6 in a row. After missing 10, welcome back Zinger. KP in the house. Luka, the triple-double leader this year in the league, and I mean, what else do you need? I mean, we got stars, and not just on our set. Your center court, good to have you as always on a Tuesday night on NBA TV. Casey Stern, Grant Hill, Candace Parker, Isiah Thomas. And when you sit there, it's a team game, but one-on-one, which is, I mean, I go back to your day. I got to go beat Mike. I mean, this is going to be a lot of fun.
I never said Luka. I got to go beat Mike.
No,
I would say we got to.
Yes.
We got to go.
Yes, of course.
I wanted to clarify.
Yeah. We got to beat him.
Depending on who the guy is. But, yes. I mean, the fact that we've got Luka and Kawhi, and we've got 2 just stars, this could be fun to watch.
It will be fun to watch. And to me, it's always fun to watch a guy like Kawhi, the older guy, play against the younger guy, the guy who's trying to take his spot. Because as much as Kawhi may say it don't mean anything, he will always want to keep Luka in his place, so to speak. Because if you're going to meet these guys in the playoffs, and Grant, Candace, you know, you never want to give that younger player confidence against you. So you always want to keep him or her thinking like, you don't have a shot to beat me.
On a day which has in another sport become about 396 out of 397, that's voters who knew that Derek Jeter was Derek Jeter. 397 across the board. No team grade A gets it done as we get a chance to welcome in the guys who will be on the call tonight, as always, with our buddy 3D, who, again, making you guys wear sunglasses with that red velvet jacket. Brian Anderson and Greg Anthony. How are you, gentlemen?
We're doing great. Glad to be here in Dallas after we were in Memphis last night. You got to check Grant Hill's contract, by the way. Load management situation. G. Hill working back-to-backs. But it's great to be in Dallas. It's the only game of the night, as Casey said. And this is a rematch of a game that you and I called with Dennis Scott back on November 26th. And there's a lot of news about this game. Of course, Porzingis coming back is the headliner, GA. Paul George won't play tonight. Doc Rivers not even sure he's going to play tomorrow, as the Clippers have a back-to-back in Atlanta tomorrow night. Kawhi Leonard is back. He's got 5 straight games scoring over 30 points, averaging 36. And finally, the Mavericks get Doncic and Porzingis on the floor together. But I think the talk between these 2 teams coming into this game, GA, was their matchup in November and how the adjustments might be made tonight.
Yeah, listen, they're both completely different teams than they were at the start of the season. There was still a lot of uncertainty when you look at this Clippers team, but I thought their level of physicality, they made Luka tentative. And you can see here, not playing with the kind of force we've come to see over the last couple of months here. Just tentative, not in attack mode, really respecting, I think, the physicality, the quickness, and the aggressiveness defensively of the Clippers a little too much. We would expect he's going to be a little bit better here tonight. He had 7 turnovers in that game, only 4-14 from the field, and really was not the factor that we've grown accustomed to seeing this season. And I think some of that is because this Clippers team, they're top 5 or top 10 in the league, both offensively and defensively in terms of rating, and they play championship caliber defense. And so I think we're going to see an adjustment. Rick Carlisle talked about it. He's improved a little bit since that first game, and he brings a level of physicality, I think, that will match what the Clippers have. So it should be an exciting contest.
Well, Luka's almost 21. I mean, he's aging right in front of our eyes. On the Clippers side of things, you know, they did manhandle, according to Rick Carlisle, the Clippers manhandled the Mavericks in that last game. And I think if you're the Los Angeles Clippers right now, Doc Rivers told us before the game, hey, Kawhi, he's been asking for those perimeter defensive matchups, especially against those top players like a Luka Doncic. We're going to see that in the playoffs. We know that. A load management story with Kawhi Leonard. He's been on and off on those guys. He's going to be on him tonight. And I love Isaiah's point. He's going to make sure that Luka Doncic knows he's in the building.
Well, he's going to be on him, but he's also been on over this last 5-game stretch, getting about 35 a night and shooting over 50% from 3. And listen, he's unquestionably a true superstar, a guy you can win championships with and because of, and he's going to be asked to do a lot. He's the master of the mid-range, leads the league in points per mid-range attempt. and has done that the last couple years, continues to be very efficient in that category, but he can also step out beyond and shoot the three, as we mentioned earlier, is having a terrific stretch here of late. So he is going to be priority number one if you're Rick Carlisle and the Dallas Mavericks. He has got to be contained and respected defensively because of what he brings.
Clippers have won 5 of their last 6, KC. They're at 30 wins right now, and we really haven't seen what the Clippers are going to be. Doc Rivers knows that they haven't had their pieces together. He's very curious and anxious to get his whole group on the floor together, namely Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. No George tonight. Kawhi is in. We're looking forward to this matchup. Only game on the schedule in the NBA.
Guys, looking forward to it. Of course, the call coming up in just a bit. We've got a lot to talk about, though. They mentioned the lack of Paul George and the lack of really seeing these guys play together. Let's look at the numbers and where we stand on the is he or isn't he. This will be 6 consecutive games. You look at the with and the without. And look, with Kawhi, 35-plus per game average last 5. He's been brilliant and has looked healthy. That in a second. Let's start with PG. It's got to be difficult, Grant, for him. How long is it going to take, though, for them to really find the continuity we're looking for by the playoffs, should he come back in a couple of days healthy?
Yeah, I don't think it'll take that long. I mean, they're both highly intelligent players. You have a veteran team for the most part. You have a great coach in Doc Rivers. You have enough time, assuming on your timeline in terms of when he comes back. This team is in good position right now. They're not too far out of the first spot. I say they're not playing for the regular season. They're playing for the postseason. So if you give them a few weeks, I think they can figure it out. But inserting Paul George into the mix, yeah, he's a dynamic player who is capable of big nights. It's an adjustment period, but I don't think it'll take too long. But you are worried. There's this concern that when is he going to get to that point where he's ready to go full time? We know Kawhi is doing his load management thing and sort of has proven successful at doing that from last year. But I'm just worried about George and his health over the long term, and hopefully he can stay healthy so this team can gel, and we can all see, as Doc Rivers wants, this team at its best.
And whether you're supposed to or not, it's hard not to think about, okay, well, the Lakers' 2 guys, and how are they playing together, and what about these 2? But you mentioned load management, and look, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, Candace. Whatever formula they concocted in Toronto of how to get Kawhi right, and I'm sure you all found yourselves doing that as your years went on in the league. How about just how good and energetic Kawhi has looked in the games he's played? He's been dominant.
I mean, the games Kawhi has played, and like G. Hill said a couple nights ago, you know, usually as a player, if you're out for a while and you don't have rhythm, you come back rusty. It seems like Kawhi comes back better when he has rest, and that's been proven through San Antonio, through Toronto, offensively. And the Clippers have looked great offensively. Coming into the year, we looked at them defensively and said that they're going to be among the elite. And fortunately, you know, you can't really make the ball go in the basket more, but you can step up your defense. So I think once they get Paul George back, acclimated to the system, I don't know whether it's, defensive calls or whatnot, but they're scoring the basketball. That's usually something you worry about. Defensively, they're capable of being a better defensive team, and I think we're going to see that after All-Star break.
I mean, you live in LA, and you know we're not there. So what's like the underground talk? What's the community talk in terms of around the Clippers, the Lakers? Like what is the community saying and how they're feeling about this?
Well, I think that the Western Conference is going to go through LA, and I think everybody feels that way. You see the billboards, you see the we versus me type of mentality. The community thinks of the Clippers as the blue-collar team, and LA as, you know, the Lakers as the Hollywood team. And it's going to be a clash come the playoffs because one's got to win.
You know, the interesting thing about what Candace just said, and it's a great segue because you said about blue-collar, we think of how the Clippers play, right? This was Doc last year.
Yeah.
But am I crazy to think we've seen more of this from the Lakers have played more blue-collar defense, consistent effort, and push with buying into what Frank's doing, which, let's make no mistake, is because LeBron's bought it and everyone has followed. That's odd, right? None of us thought, and I understand Paul George missing for some of it, G, but overall, that ethic, that it thing of that blue-collar, it's been the Lakers.
It really has been. And you think this time last year, the Lakers had history and they had tradition, but they were lacking culture. And this summer, you have to give credit. Obviously, AD and LeBron, bringing in Anthony Davis along with LeBron was huge. But some of the people they brought in that complement them, Danny Green, Avery Bradley, guys that are quality guys that are winners, guys that are about culture, and are blue-collar guys, to your very point. And so this team, there's been not one problem. You haven't heard any issues. There hasn't been any, jealousy, dissension, anything like that. Obviously, AD was hurt. He got hurt the other day. But for the most part, they're together, they're locked in, and they're playing phenomenal defense. Dwight Howard, who's the last, 6-7 years has reputation-wise taken a hit, he's been, rewarded. So it's
Dwight for three.
Exactly, exactly. So, but I mean, it's fun to watch. There's something really special going on. I know they had a tough loss the other day, but the Lakers are doing it, not so much Showtime basketball.
Exactly.
But they're doing it with defense and grit and toughness.
You've got defense in L.A., the Showtime Grizzlies. You make sense of it.
It's all messed up. All of
You
it.
make sense of it as we head to break. Don't forget to tune in tonight at NBA TV. Catch hashtag Center Court, the trivia. Chance to win a Clipper or Mavs jersey. OGs are next. Oh, Detlef. You might have forgotten him with GP, who's